Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Cuz, the podcast where two cousins talk about things we love.
Just cuz. And today we are talking about the second Doctor Who holiday special. Are these all
I don't even know
classified
what
as
to call
holiday
it.
specials? Yeah.
Sure,
It's the
that makes sense to
second
me.
special this year with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And it's called Into the Wild Blue Yonder or something. Wild Blue
Yeah,
Yonder, something.
or just blue, yeah, Wild Blue Yonder,
I
something
think
like
it's Wild
that.
Blue Yonder. I think the other one I got from the song.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess we can get right into it. What did you think of this episode?
I liked it.
Really?
I okay, I have complicated feelings. I felt very unsatisfied at first, especially with the CGI and some
Yes.
of the really horned in cheesy jokes that I was like, come on guys, you don't need to do that. The CGI is bad. It's bad. They're clearly using their Disney budget to just make an entirely CGI set, and it didn't work.
On a CGI ship.
Didn't work for me.
The
I don't know
long
if they're
corridor
using,
didn't work for me. The monsters did. And we'll get into it. They really worked for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're right. I think the setting didn't work at all. I think it looked, and I think Doctor Who in general is way too low budget to be using something like the Vision or that big LED screen that Disney uses for like Star Wars and other shit like that. I don't think they were using something like that, but they were definitely using.
It seemed like some sort of
set.
high-tech green screen that they were like, oh, this is gonna look great, and it just looked weird.
So bad, so unbelievably bad.
But it's interesting that you say that, because I liked this episode infinitely more than last week's, and I think it's because they were leaning into horror. And like I said last week, my favorite Doctor Who stuff is horror.
I agree. I also like the plot better than last week's. I love the instinct that they're going with. It's like, hey, we have David Tennant back. We have Catherine Tate back. Everybody loves these two because they're such good actors and they have such great chemistry together. So, of course, let's do a bottle episode with just them. And weirdly, Isaac Newton at the beginning. But mostly just them. Yeah.
And like the whole idea of this being a self-contained episode, like there's obvious Easter eggs and references to other Doctor Who stuff, but for a special that is supposed to lead up to a new Doctor, this felt very isolated, which again, I liked, but within context of the other two episodes of this 3 special arc, I have no idea what's happening.
Right. Is it 3 or is it 4? I somehow got it into my head that it was 4.
I thought it was 3. I could be wrong, though.
I think it's probably 3, too, because I think the next one is going to be with toy maker Neil Patrick Harris, or whatever he's called. I'm pretty sure
David Tennant's going to die. I haven't looked it up, but toy maker sounds like a cool name. I mean, it's also a Superman villain, but it's good enough.
Also, in the last 2 specials, the Doctor has been talking so much about and just like dropping little lines here and there being like, why did this face come back? Now I have this face again. How strange.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing to investigate that really. And we're just going to go into the last special and it's going to be all there, I guess.
I'm assuming, we're going to dive deep into it next week. Otherwise, why did David Tennant come back? Again, I'm assuming we're going to get into it. All the reasoning, all the psychology. David Tennant's going to have a great monologue, I bet. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, when the first episode, when I was like halfway through the first special, I was thinking, oh, this is so interesting. Obviously, the reason that he came back is to settle all this Dr. Donna stuff. But at the end of that episode, they just let the Dr. Donna go, and it's weird, and I didn't like it on the record.
Yep.
But
yeah, we talked about it last week. There was a lot of good stuff, but that one moment of letting it go, what were they thinking?
Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. I've been online. I've looked. I don't think anyone liked it.
No.
I don't know. But so the monsters in this episode are, I mean, they call themselves the Nothing at first, and I was like, what is this, the never-ending story? But they are truly nothing. They have no shape. They have no memories of their own. They have no feelings. They are a creature out of darkness, and that is a mirror to whatever it sees. So there are these two copies of the Doctor and Donna running around, and I really loved the Scooby-Doo moments when they all came in through different doors, and they were like, oh no, which one's the real one?
There's two of each of us, what's going on? And even the way that they lead up with that suspense where they get on the ship and then they find out that there was an airlock opened like years ago, and then there was a shadow in one of the shots. I'm like, okay, I really like how they're doing this.
Yeah, I like that. The first scene when we realized that there were two extra versions of them. The Doctor and Donna were separated, and then they each thought they were talking to each other, but they weren't. They were talking to the monsters. But at first, I guess I was severely confused because I was like, how long have they been on this ship? Are they jumping forward in time? Are they jumping through time, like with these conversations? And I was like, oh no, this is happening at the same time. They're not talking to each other.
So I caught on pretty quick, and the only reason why that is because when fake Doctor went to talk to Donna, he just kind of leaned up against the wall while she was doing some work, like changing some hard drives, and I was like, why isn't the Doctor helping her? What's going on here?
The Doctor wouldn't do that. My thing was when Donna said Gallifrey, and I was like, the fake Donna said Gallifrey, and I was like, Donna would never say it like that. Donna approaches that subject. She has before with him talked about it, but she's approached it so much more carefully and so different, and she's never outright said, what about Gallifrey? And I was like, that's not Donna.
No. And honestly, just the way that the episode played out from there, and the special effects with the monsters was weird. And at first I was like, what are you doing? The practical hands, awesome, but the jaw going to the ground looked bad. And then I thought about it for a second. It's Uncanny Valley CG, and I feel like, and I hope this is the interpretation, that it's bad on purpose because they're supposed to look rubbery and unreal. That's me also justifying bad CG, though.
The thing about that is, the only way that I would accept that as a reason, like, oh, this is what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to look fake because they are imitations. They're not real. And I understand that line of thinking. The only way I would accept that is if the spaceship looked real, but it didn't. It looked like shit. So I think just all the effects looked like shit.
Also, that exact excuse they tried to use for the Flash CG. So just scratch everything I said.
That was not true. Yeah. The Flash just also looked like shit. The difference was the script was also shit for the Flash. This script was not shit.
I still like parts of the Flash. The whole mom and son stuff. I will die on that hill.
Okay, that's quite the hill to die on. I'll leave you be.
I'm the one fan of the Flash. I'm like, woo yeah, Flash. No.
My hate is not on the character of the Flash. It's purely that movie.
Yeah. There's plenty to talk about that, but let's talk Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Should we just run through the episode? Or
I think we kind of have been. I think it's mostly this episode is so interesting because it's all conversations. There's like no battle. Yeah. It's only the Doctor and Donna, and that's it. Like the other two characters really are they're just the mirrors of the Doctor and
Mhm.
Donna. They only have the memories of the Doctor and Donna and like the universe at large, but
Mhm.
as people, they only know the Doctor and Donna. And it is so great just always seeing these two characters interact. Like, was the script not the best in some parts? Sure.
Yeah.
But I still had a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's all the Doctor and Donna except for the first scene and the last scene.
Yes.
Which I was so happy about that last scene. We finally got to see Bernard Cribbins in the few scenes he got to shoot before his death, unfortunately.
Yeah, recording last week is what made me expect him not to be in the show, because I just fully thought he was, and then you told me that he had died while filming, and I was like, oh, maybe he's not gonna be in this. That sucks. But he was.
I think
that was a
got
really
to
nice
finish. Yeah, I think he got to finish most of the filming before he died.
So they probably
and he was just having
edited
so much
down
fun,
to
you
just
could tell.
one meeting, and it was great. Oh.
Well, I think he's going to be in the next episode a little too. Yeah, it's his last performance. I'm sure they want it to be seen, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure
and
it's
I'm pretty
'cause he's
sure I
always fun.
heard that I'm pretty sure I heard that he got to finish it. So
That's good to hear. But yeah,
I guess
the
we'll
first
see next week.
person that they meet is Isaac Newton, and I thought the whole Mavity joke didn't really work for me. I thought it was more funny that the Doctor spoiled that he was going to be a Sir or a Knight.
Yeah, that was
I liked
funny.
that.
The Mavity didn't work for me. Okay, did I miss something? Did Donna say Mavity later or something?
No, I think because okay, for the rules of jokes, they have to be 3, right? Or at least it's
well, I mean,
seated,
that's a widely understood rule of threes. The rule of threes. It doesn't have to be a funny joke, but yeah, sure.
But it was in the beginning and then in the end, and then I'm not saying it would have worked better, but they could have used some sort of.
Wait, did she
thing
say it
to
in the
remind
end?
the
What are we
audience.
talking about? I think I missed it. What did she say in the end? Because I saw
I think-
like a post or something saying about the Mavity, and I was like, did I miss something? I don't know. Did she say it in any part of the episode?
She definitely said it in the end. Her or the Doctor said something about Mavity, and
Like in the last scene with
Yeah.
Bernard Cribbins?
at least towards the
Interesting.
end. Mhm.
Okay.
And I remember it came back, and I was like, oh, I barely remember that from the beginning.
Right. I was like, oh yeah, that's the same episode.
Honestly, all of
forgot.
the Newton stuff not connected at all.
No, not
to the
at
rest
all.
of the
They were
episode.
the TARDIS was crashing and falling through space and time, and then the TARDIS always breaking. Okay, why did the TARDIS have to break like that to bring?
Because the
there?
TARDIS is dramatic.
The TARDIS is so dramatic, but usually when the TARDIS breaks down like that and everyone's super serious about it, the TARDIS comes out again with a new interior. But we had already seen the new TARDIS interior the previous
Yeah.
episode, and nothing happened to the TARDIS. Like, literally,
It
in
just
Jodie's
fixed
last
itself?
episode, nothing happened to the TARDIS. She literally walked outside to regenerated into David Tennant, and then went back into the TARDIS, and then
It was
he showed up
It
in
was
front
new.
of Donna. And that's it. Like, the TARDIS didn't break. She just was like, time for a change. Because the Doctor's changed, so I want a new face too.
that had never even occurred to me until you said that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And even just
So it's like, if you were gonna do a new TARDIS interior, why not do it now? Why not bring Donna aboard Jodie's set? Obviously, I get why. I don't like that set. Sorry. It's got too much going on. I didn't like it. It was,
there's like red and green and blue lights. It's too much.
it's just too much, and it feels claustrophobic, even though it's like a physically big space. It just feels, because the claws come up like hands over the console, and it's just like, it's claustrophobic, and I didn't like it. It felt like stalactites coming down from the ceiling. Stalagmites? Stalactites? What did I say?
They're
Which
tight
is
because
right?
they hold on tight, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
Stalactites.
Someone comment. Let us know. School has failed us.
What is school? I don't know anything.
I don't need to know taxes. I need to know what stalactites and mites are.
Did your school teach you taxes? Mine didn't. That's crazy.
This is way off topic, but I did have a class where they taught me to like balance a checkbook and stuff, but no taxes.
That's so much more useful than fucking
Right?
geometry. Why did I need to know that?
I hated that class, but it is the most useful class I have ever used.
Ugh, that's way more useful than
Yeah.
most of my classes. I should have had
Fix
a class
your
like
curriculum,
that. Also,
guys.
I know that you had driver's ed in your school. I did not have driver's ed attached to my school. I had to pay for driver's ed.
I think I
outside
had to
of my
pay
school.
for it, and it was like I went to a class after school, but it was still inside of my school.
Right, but it was like
building.
supplied by your school.
Yeah.
No, I had to like go to an agency, like hire someone
That is
to teach
that's
me how to
ridiculous.
drive. Yeah.
I don't
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
You know who's not doing a lot of driving in this episode? The doctor, because the TARDIS is gone. She's dipped. She was breaking down and she left. And I was like, okay, why though? You could have just done your normal Dr. Donna investigating. You didn't need
Yeah.
to have the TARDIS flee. But I liked at the end when the TARDIS showed up.
No, I liked that emotional moment. But I also, it had never occurred to me all of the TARDIS stuff in either of these episodes because I was more, I don't want to say invested, but I was just immediately hooked by them being abandoned on this spaceship at the end of space and the TARDIS leaves. And that back and forth between the Doctor and Donna, where you can actually feel the stakes of like, we are abandoned on this ship. We don't know where we are. I don't know what to do. And I liked that moment where the Doctor was like, oh shit, we're kind of stuck.
No,
Again,
no, that's all
I
very
should have
good.
stopped to think about why the TARDIS left, but I did like the stakes that it built.
Well, the TARDIS left, the doctor said, because it was like, what is it, HADS or something? It was like hazards. Like the TARDIS was like, "Ooh, I'm scared. There's something scary going on," and she left.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even pick up on that line.
That's what happened. He said it. He was like, "Oh yeah, if there's active danger, there's a setting, and the TARDIS will just leave." And I was like, okay, but you're in active danger all the time.
Yeah, I feel like we could easily find an example of the TARDIS just being in an active war zone and it just being fine.
All the time. All the time.
But whatever. Like I said, I like the stakes.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good. The monsters, the way that they were like slowly learning about humanity and learning about the Doctor and Donna, it was so interesting. I think the part that sticks out to me the most was when Donna was trying to figure out if this fake doctor was actually the Doctor. And he does something that the Doctor's done before and is so Doctor-like, and he takes off his tie and he says, okay, I'm taking off my tie. If we meet another Doctor who has a tie, that's not me. That's the monster. And he takes it off and he puts a tie on the floor.
Brilliant.
And then the scene cuts away, and when it cuts back, Donna looks down and says, where's your tie? And he said, I took my tie off. And then she was like, yeah, but where's your tie on the floor? You put it on the floor. It's not on the floor. And then he's like, oh, I'm understanding. When things are gone, they stay where they are. Like when you let something go, it stays where you dropped it. And I was like, whoa, that's such a concept that like we don't even think about. Obviously, if I put something down, it's going to stay there until someone moves it.
I loved every little thing about the monsters learning, or even the little things they did wrong. Like, all the arms are very obvious, but the way that he was just like, I just can't get arms right. I don't know what to do with them. I loved that. Everything about that. And have you seen, it's a YouTube playlist where it's just a bunch of fake 70s and 80s government videos. It's called the Mandela Catalog on YouTube. Have you seen that?
No, but I know what the Mandela effect is. Does it have something to do with that?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
It is the exact Mandela effect, but it's I would say I recommend watching those, but they are pretty frightening or just unsettling if you
What
want to be
are
scared.
they?
It's kind of like what I was saying. I don't know how to describe it. It's a fake government propaganda video from like way back when. Like it was obviously made now and it's not actual government video, but it's about
Okay.
doppelgangers going into your house and how to protect yourselves from them. And I got so much Mandela catalog vibes from these monsters. And maybe that's why I loved this episode. Because it was just, and then for all intensive purposes, by the end of the episode, it was the Doctor and Donna that those monsters had become, like brain and all.
It was a very bottle episode, and I liked it. I always love a bottle episode. I love when characters shines. And the characters, like, okay, first of all, David Tennant and Catherine Tate are such good actors. They're so good, and they have such good chemistry. They don't miss a beat. They are exactly embodying who. First of all, I do want to make a correction from the last video that we did because I did some math. And even though I'm bad at it, it has been 15 years since we've last seen them. So Rose is perfectly in age. It is 2023. They're not in the future. I'm stupid.
I think the moment both of us ended recording, we both just took like 10 seconds, did some mental math, and we're like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Why did we make a moment of that?
It has been that long. So, yeah, but they are exactly the characters that we saw 15 years ago, which is wild.
And Doctor Who is one of the few shows that can do something like that, which is just incredible.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. I'm really excited for the next episode. It's going to be on Earth again, which I'm very excited for, and
I'm very excited for Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes,
and maybe we see the new Doctor.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Chutigatua. I cannot wait, literally.
I want to see his full transformation, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he starts transforming and then the episode ends and we gotta wait a bit.
I want Donna to meet another version of the Doctor.
That would be fun.
Donna has had the Doctor's consciousness in her brain, even though she couldn't access it. She's had his consciousness in her brain for 15 years. She and him are connected on a weird cosmic level where fate or the universe or whatever you want to call it keeps drawing them together over and over and over and over again for years. And I want her to finally meet another version of him.
Because, yeah, she's only ever seen David Tennant.
Exactly.
So that would be cool. I also have to shout out to whatever robot was doing the countdown. He looked like Marvin, the paranoid android from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Loved that. Yeah. That was fun.
I was like, this robot looks familiar, but I couldn't place it. I was like, no, it's not any Star Wars robots. I don't know.
It's Alan Rickman.
That makes sense.
So should we move on to the consumption corner where we're just starved for content?
I think we should because I don't know about you, Max, but I'm starving and I have a little surprise for you.
Okay. I'm very excited.
Because
I've been eating well, but I want to hear this.
You're going to be so proud of me. I finally did it. I watched Andor.
Oh my God. So you love it, right?
Oh my God, it's incredible. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's so well thought out. It actually made me mad how mediocre the other Star Wars shows have been and other Star Wars content because this show is so freaking brilliant.
Did you finish it?
Yes, I finished it.
Okay, thank God. I can talk all about it because the heist arc... That's what initially, and I was watching it week to week, but that's what initially made me fall in love with the show. And then the prison arc, and that's amazing. Andy Serkis kills it. And then the finale.
So good.
It made me want to start a rebellion.
Yeah.
I don't know about what, but it made me want to go out into the streets and throw bricks or something.
Well, okay. So I didn't realize this. I thought I'd only watched the first episode, but I'd actually watched the whole first arc. When it was coming out. I watched the first 3 episodes. I don't know why I dropped off, but I had seen the whole first arc. So I rewatched it, and then I went to the Aldani arc, which is freaking incredible. You know who I wasn't expecting to see there? Cousin from The Bear.
Cousin.
Are you kidding me? I was so shocked. I just yelled Cousin at the screen. It was hilarious. No, and that was so good. And the kid from The End of the Fucking World. The socialist kid in this. He's so
he writes
good.
the manifesto.
I love that show. Huh?
Oh.
Yes.
The one who writes the manifesto. Yeah. All of the characters in Andor are so memorable and so likable. And you can... I'm remembering how, spoilers, each of the characters you're saying dies. And like for Cousin, it was... Everything was perfect.
It was just all so good. And even though like the show is split up into 3 arcs and not all of these characters are not in all of the show. Some of them are in all of the show, but a lot of them are not. But the character is just so well thought out that you don't notice that you've only known them for 2 episodes, because when they die, you are heartbroken. And I'm like, no! Or when they turn coat, or when you lose sight of them, you don't know what's going on. And it's crazy. The prison arc.
Oh my God.
I don't know if this makes me like a bad person, but I kept thinking while I was watching those episodes, and especially the prison break, I kept thinking, I was like, I would not feel bad about killing any of these guards, of these people. I would 100%, I'm 100% behind prison abolition in the Star Wars universe, if not also in our world.
They're people just doing their jobs, but I'm also going to free myself.
No, they're not people just doing their job. They're not people just doing their jobs. They are Nazis. They are part of a fascist regime. They are at the very worst. No, they are at the very least neglectful. But those people who are working in the prison, they killed people. They tortured them every day. They were part of this system. If you... In this world of Andor, the reason I find it so brilliant, and I'm really putting my political science degree to use, okay, is because the concept and the reality of watching people try and thrive, like regular people. Cassian didn't initially do anything wrong. He didn't set out to rob people or destroy things. He was just looking for his sister. And this fascist regime, the Empire, it would not leave him alone, no matter what. People came after him. He just went to a bar to try and find his sister. Some people attacked him. He had to do what he had to do. Okay. He gets his money and he goes to what Space Miami, and people don't leave. And the Empire just arrests him for walking on the beach. They can't.
For looking suspicious.
Yeah.
And that the droid just picks him up and chokes him against a rock. Amazing.
It is, the watching people attempt to attempt to live despite the fascist reality that their government, the thumb of fascism that their government is keeping them under. There is no choice but to be complicit or rebel. There is no other choice. If you do nothing, you're complicit. It's like that. I heard somebody saying this. I watched a really good YouTube video by Lady Night something. She's really good. I like a lot of her videos, and she did a video called Andor, One Way Out. And she quoted this guy who I don't remember the name of at all. But it was like, if you open your doors to everyone, if you let in the wolves and the sheep, you're only going to have wolves. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's just, it's such a brilliant show. And it honestly makes me mad that the other Star Wars shows are so mediocre.
And we won't talk about Andor all day, because I just have one more thing to mention, but I love how they not humanize the Empire, because they are Nazis, and I don't want to see Nazis humanized. That's bullshit. But the way that they are clearly just regular people doing their jobs, thinking that they're doing right. I'd specifically with cereal. I said cereal. Cereal. He's always eating cereal.
Yeah.
But yeah, specifically with him. But just people thinking that they're in the right. And that justifies a lot of their actions. At least to themselves.
I think humanize doesn't mean you need to empathize. They are human. That's the worst part, right? That these atrocities are being committed by even though they're all aliens and it's Star Wars, whatever, they're human, right? They're all people. That these atrocities are being committed and put into a system that is, endorsed, it is repeated, it is constantly reinforced by people. And
that reinforcement takes effort, especially across a whole galaxy.
Yeah.
And that's why the Empire fails. And I love how Andor highlights it.
Yeah, if you're a person and you're just doing your job and that's your excuse, well, you're complicit. That's
yep.
That's the truth. And we're not going to go into it, but it has lots of reflections to our real world. Okay, art reflects life. And
Star Wars has also always reflected life.
And
I don't
politics.
Understand
Star Wars has always been political. Yeah. If people say Star Wars is not political, they've never seen Star Wars or never paid attention, because Star Wars is literally about a rebellion. It's about politics. Like, you're stupid if you think it's not.
George Lucas is also very, very clear about that in every interview that he's ever 100%.
Been in. Yeah. He said in an interview that in his original trilogy, America was the Empire and the rebellion was Viet Cong. And I was like, okay, George, that's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess we can kind of change paces, because I do have some Doctor Who stuff to talk about.
Yes,
because
back to Doctor Who.
I don't know how this slipped by me. I honestly am embarrassed that I did not mention this last week, because the Star Beast, which is the title of the episode, the entire narrative, like one for one, is from a comic, a Doctor Who comic, which is an adventure of the Fourth. And I read it. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's the exact same story.
No, I knew that. Did I not mention that last time?
No.
I absolutely knew that.
I had no idea, because I would have shouted it out.
Yeah, no, the Meep is originally from that comic.
Mm-hmm. And there wouldn't be too much to mention about this comic. Like, it was fun, but it was the exact same story. But I do have to mention, it was written by Pat Mills, but the illustrator is Dave Gibbons, who I don't know if you're aware of that name, but he's the illustrator of Watchmen.
Oh, I knew it sounded familiar. Okay, that makes sense.
And if you look at the art, it's like, oh yeah, that's Watchmen art.
Mm-hmm.
I've fun. Go read that comic.
I've only seen the art of the Meep. Yeah, I found that out when this special was announced. When they released at some point, they released footage or like a picture of the Meep or something, and someone was like, "There's a comic with the Meep," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's why everyone cares about it." And I looked it up. But yeah, I think the episode is, other than all the Donna stuff, is an adaptation of that.
Yeah, it's a different companion, and it's the Fourth Doctor, but other than that, the exact same story.
Yeah. That's fun. I want to make a, I don't know if it's a correction, but I want to acknowledge something that I said last time. Last time in the Consumption Corner, I shouted out a video that I had recently watched by James Somerton. And then a week later, a YouTuber who I incredibly respect and who makes really great and well-researched content, H Bomber Guy, released a new video about plagiarism on YouTube, which heavily focused on James Somerton. and
Oh, no.
how much of a plagiarist and just outright liar that he is. So everyone, don't go watch his videos.
Go watch the new H-Bomber Guy video.
Go watch H-Bomber Guy's video.
I didn't even know that was out. I gotta watch that.
It's really good. Go watch. There's another video that was made about the topic as well by someone. let me find it. Todd in the Shadows. It was made by Todd in the Shadows. He made another one that could be considered a companion piece to H-Bomber Guy's video. Not really intentionally, but it covers similar topics. And those are both very well-researched and honorable videos and not plagiarized. So
yes. Ooh.
We don't like people who steal from other people.
That's never cool.
Especially intellectual work. That's not good or fun. And you're stupid if you do that. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I have been reading the Across the Spider-Verse script because they released that for free online.
Ooh.
I downloaded it to my computer. I've been making my way slowly through it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's the exact... There's not much more. I will say there are curse words in the script. Like, it's not meant for kids. Okay. Not a lot, but it's there.
Do they bleep out curse words in the movie, or did they just rewrite it?
It's always explanations. Like, this has been going around Twitter, so I already knew about this before I even touched the script. But the exact words for when Spider-Punk throws off his wristwatch and steps through the portal is Spider-Punk fucks off. Like, that's the words in the script.
Oh, you mean the stage directions like the directions are have curse words. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Most scripts are like that. Yeah, not in the dialogue. I thought you meant in the dialogue, and I was like, oh,
no.
Wait, what?
Nothing's changed from the actual movie.
Yeah. I have been reading a new book.
Okay.
Well, reading is, I mean, I've gotten past the first chapter. So I'm not that far into it, but it is a book that is right now the center of, I don't know, book talk, or it's real. People are real crazy about it. Not crazy. People really, really like it. It's called Fourth Wing, if you've heard of it. In the book, fantasy, romance genres, it has really taken off. It came out, I think, last year, and the sequel just came out, so it's really big right now. And me and a bunch of my coworkers decided to read it together because we're like, we want to know what the hype is about.
Is it worth the hype?
Again, I've only gotten through the first chapter. Personally, I don't love the writing style. I don't like how expositional it is. For example, after 2 pages, I knew every single thing about the 3 characters who were in that scene. And I was like, why can't I figure it out through the way that they're acting?
Through context.
Like, show, don't tell. You don't need to tell me freaking everything in the first 2 pages of your freaking book. Sorry.
Have you read a summary? Like, do you know what it's about?
It is about a world where, or like a kingdom, I guess, where there's 4 factions that you can go into. One of them, and 3 of them are boring, and one of them is being a dragon rider. So,
okay. Yeah, always be a dragon rider.
Well,
always.
Our main character is from a family of high-ranking dragon riders, but she, like her father, wanted to be a scribe, but her mother won't let her be a scribe and is forcing her to go to dragon riding school.
Boo-hoo.
So, yeah, well, I mean, she doesn't want to because you can get killed on the first day, like, really easily. So I'm like, I guess that makes sense.
That's fair.
But, yeah, it seems pretty predictable. But I like being a part of a book club, so I'm going to keep reading it.
Well, if you continue to read it and you like it, I might pick it up. Because that honestly sounds fun. Sounds like my kind of read. dragons.
I don't know if it'll be your kind of read because I've only gotten to the first chapter. I don't know, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of sex in it, and it's a very big romance book.
Okay.
For women.
So yeah, not my kind of read. Depending on if it's good,
maybe you'll like it.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? I'll keep reading. I'll let you know.
Yes. Well, I watched a movie this week, and I've watched it many, many times. This is at least the sixth time I've watched it. And if you've ever seen Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping, I genuinely think it's a masterpiece. And it's a late night comedy. Like it stars Andy Samberg and all the Lonely Island crew. Like it's pretty much about Lonely Island. And I don't know what else to say about it. I should preface it by every time I watched it, there is a hard R in it, and it catches me off guard every time, and I do not like it. But that's the one moment in this very offensive movie that it steps over the line. Other than that, great movie.
I saw part of that movie once. I never saw the whole thing, and maybe I should because it sounds fun, and I love The Lonely Island.
Again, I think it is a masterpiece.
Yeah. Okay. I'll definitely watch it.
So I got a couple more recommendations. Honestly, I can just shout them out and talk about them later.
Go ahead. The only thing I'm doing is reading that book and watching the new season of Big Mouth, but it's Big Mouth.
Well, there's one that I honestly think you should watch.
Okay.
And then, because these are both animes, the first one is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. If you've seen that. I love
Scott Pilgrim. I heard that there was a new anime out. I did not realize that was a real thing.
It's 8 episodes. It's got all of the main cast is back. And I watched it fully expecting and being prepared for just a recap of the movie. And the first episode did that, and it was running really fast through the movie, and I was like, why are we skipping through some stuff? We got plenty of time. I expected it to be more based off of the graphic novel, which is just means the movie, but with more character interactions. But no, very early on, this diverts from the movie, and it is a different story. Go watch it.
That sounds fun. Okay. What do you mean the whole cast is back? Like, they're voicing...
Everyone.
They're voicing it?
Yeah. Chris Evans, Brie Larson, Michael Cera,
Whoa,
Aubrey Plaza.
Wait a second. That's crazy.
They're all back.
Holy crap.
Jason Schwartzman.
Wow. How did I not know about this? Okay. I will definitely watch that.
And again, you'll watch the first episode and you're like, this is weird. This is just the movie. And then the first episode ends. Anyway, we'll probably talk about it later because I'll quickly mention Jujutsu Kaisen, which I don't know if you're an anime person.
I know Jujutsu Kaisen. I haven't seen it or read
consistently,
it, but I know of it.
The best anime running right now. Not that it has the most emotional moments or just emotional, impactful moments, but every episode, or at least every other episode, there is a season finale level fight where a hand-to-hand fight is just given budget and time, and the animators are clearly putting effort into the fluidity and everything of the movements. Highly recommend this show just to see some people punch cities apart. It's amazing.
Awesome.
There was also a moment in an episode that I watched recently where this drunk dick character that I never liked, he gets in a fight and I immediately started liking him more because he started talking about frames of animation and how a lot of people turn on motion smoothing. And he did that because in anime, everyone has a superpower, but his superpower had to do with animation and the way the show was animated.
Oh, that's cool.
All I'll say is that.
Okay. Cool. I'm not the biggest anime fan or manga fan, not because of any reason. I've never been able to get into it very easily.
It looks strange, you know, the way the people are drawn.
No, it's not strange. No, it's not about the art style. I like the art style. For me, it's like I don't like cartoons where people fight a lot. I like cartoons that are just chill. Like Big
That's
Mouth,
why I
like
watch
like
cartoons.
Family Guy, and like Rick and Morty. They fight a little bit, but not really. I like Invincible and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've never watched, other than I think Invincible is the first cartoon I've ever watched where like fighting is a big part of it.
I mean, The Last Airbender.
I didn't watch that. I've
What?
never seen it.
What the actual fuck, Sasha?
I watched what was that? I was just thinking of something. I forgot. Oh well. I did.
We're gonna have an episode about Avatar.
I've tried to watch it before.
The live action show is coming. I'm gonna force you.
But
like,
but I didn't watch it as a
style.
kid. I don't have any nostalgia for it.
Sasha, it's a masterpiece. It's up there with one of the best shows ever.
I know.
You don't need
I've
nostalgia.
Heard that.
When I was living with my roommate in college, I made him watch two things: Harry Potter and Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he didn't love Harry Potter, but he loved Avatar.
I tried to watch it in college. I could never get into it.
We'll watch it.
Okay.
Don't you worry. But I can't think of too much else to say.
Me neither.
But with that, this has been a Mavity podcast.